Welcome back, guys. This is What If Naruto had an Adolla What If Naruto was an Adolla Best Part 3. Last time we left off with Zabuza and Haku. Zabuza was awarded the Jonin rank for the Leaf village, and Zabuza became a Chunin, and they allowed the third Hokage said they have to be guards to the village because of the Chunin exams, and they don't want any interference. So uh, the Chunin exams will begin, and so Naruto does still train utterly, very hard, and he does sometimes ask Haku to if you can be his sparring partner, and Haku agrees. Sometimes he beats Haku, sometimes he loses to Haku. So let's say they versed 15 times, 20 times already in the past week, and Haku has won 11 and Naruto has won 9. And then the week that the last week they do get told I will say told for some reason, told about the Chunin exams, and Naruto's really excited, and he settles the score with Haku, and he wins 2 more times to get to 11 wins, and Haku's like, well done Naruto, now it's 11-11. So that's it for that week, and Naruto has trained, and he has realized that he has the wind release, water release, lightning release, and fire release because of his heritage, and also wind release is his own chakra nature transformation. Haku did help him develop some of his wind and water release because Haku has it himself, and he says try to combine the two. That's how I found out I could use my ice Kekenyenkai, and Naruto tries it, and he makes a little ice bowl, an ice ball, and he's like, whoa, what the hell? And Haku's like, that's all due to your hard work. If you train even harder and harder and harder, you can develop your ice release even and to be on par with me. And not like, you believe it, I will become better than you are using ice release. And Haku laughs at this and says, focus on your Chunin exams, Naruto. You need to become a Chunin if you want to be on par with me or even beat me. And Naruto's like, believe it. And Haku wishes him good luck because the Chunin exams do start the next day, and Haku's like, good luck Naruto. And Naruto's like, thanks, and he goes off to train a bit with his his ability to fly with fire coming out his feet. And this is really interesting. You have to listen to this bit. Listen carefully. Naruto did realize what he did in that fight against Gato, how he decapitated Gato really in a blink of an eye. He realized that he had a burst in speed even bigger than the one before, and he atomized. He became particles for a second because he went into. He was so fast that his body couldn't handle it, and he was moving at the speed of light. So his body got separated into particles, and then since he was moving at the speed of light, he was able to return his body to the normal state, just like going back in time. And he realizes that Naruto realizes that his power is something that someone shouldn't joke around with. He could kill people really quick if he tries that power. He did try it a few times. He's not getting used to it at all because whenever he uses it, he runs out a lot of chakra, and usually he takes away like 3/4 of his chakra when he does that. And remember, Naruto has around the same amount of chakra as the third Hokage because of his Uzumaki heritage. If just that move takes away 3/4 of his chakra, imagine him trying to do it twice. It's really hard. So Naruto kept trying. He does need to wait like 10 minutes interval for his chakra to recover to 3/4, and every time. So basically, first time is 1/4, and then he has to wait 10 minutes for let's say 20 for 2/4 of his chakra to come back, and then he's back to 0 chakra, and then he waits another 40, and he keeps going until it's late at night, and he realizes he has to go to sleep. So he goes back home, he has a shower, he has a bath, and he's asleep now. The next day he meets up with Team 7 a bit late, and they are kind of pissed at him because he was like 10 minutes late. It's only 10 minutes, at least I'm not 2 hours late like Kakashi Sensei. And they're like, true. And so they go into the building and they do realize it's a genjutsu. So Naruto does say, hey, let me, what's going on? And then Sakura releases it because Naruto's still not good at genjutsu releasing, but he's good at everything else. And the Chunin exams begin. So Naruto is really struggling in the first exam, and he's scratching his head and everything until so basically until the let's say the second exam, everything's the same here. Naruto isn't good, and Hinata does help him out because Hinata is his friend, and she's like, hey Naruto, you can have these. And Naruto's like, thank you Hinata, you're a lifesaver. And he does pass the exam, so he's in the second exam. So this exam is a lot different. Naruto still goes and does his business, while the rest of his Sakura and Sasuke do still get attacked. Sasuke does get bitten, but this time Naruto is able to Naruto was so close to stopping that from happening, but he didn't want to use up all his chakra, so he couldn't really use his light speed, and he wasn't able to stop that. And but he did still bruise and injure Orochimaru badly with his Adolla burst. And also, not only that, Naruto did do that wind and water release thing, and he made an ice bowl, a ball, and then spikes came out of it, and Naruto decided to kick it, even though he would hurt himself. But what he did is add a lot of chakra to the front of his foot and kicked the ball so hard he literally went through Orochimaru, and Orochimaru was coughing out blood and is like, you little brat, and then he had to escape. And that's it for the second exam. They do Naruto does still get a scroll out of nowhere. Well, basically he's like, Sakura, stay here with Sasuke, I'll be right back. And he does fly to a team he saw around that area, and he does take the scroll real, and he's like, oh, I got really lucky, I got the scroll that we needed. And he goes back to Sakura to see that she's getting attacked, and then him and Rock Lee do come in, and they do kind of annihilate them. Well, and then they annihilate two of them. Rock Lee annihilates the one. Well, Rock Lee takes on the girl, and Naruto takes on the guy that the leader of them. And Sasuke wakes up with his curse mark and breaks the arm of the other one, the one that in the original his arms got severed up by what's his name, Sasuke. And Naruto's like, well, Sasuke, you need to calm down. And the other two take this as an opportunity to escape, and they escape with their teammates. So Naruto and his team do go back, because Sasuke's curse mark does go back to his normal state, and he can barely stand up, and Naruto's carrying him, and Sakura's like, I can't believe it, Sasuke is this strong. And she saw Sasuke being strong, but she didn't see that Naruto just got the scroll for them and then came in and destroyed their leader. But she's still a Sasuke fanboy, and she kind of hates Naruto for not being able to save Sasuke from the snake. And she's like, it's all because of you, Naruto, he got bitten. You couldn't be fast enough and come and help us. And Naruto was kind of sad to hear this, but then he's like, then why couldn't you help him? You were right there, you were just watching, weren't you? And Sakura's like, how dare you say that to me? I was actually trying to help. And Naruto's like, so that's why I had to come in and swoop in and annihilate that snake, right? And they get to the tower, and and Sasuke wakes up and says, why are you guys fighting? And Naruto's like, nothing. And they do still pass as usual. And now we get into the preliminaries. The same teams pass, and here the fights are pretty much the same, and except for Hinata's one. Hinata does get beaten, and then Naruto Hinata's about to get pretty much killed, and all the Jonin are about to step in and stop Neji until Naruto's fight already finished. Just saying, his fight was too quick for people to even see it properly. he just annihilated Ki. But Naruto used his light speed and kicked Neji so hard he fainted him and said, "You need to watch yourself, Neji Hyuga." And he says, "Hey, Hinata, you okay?" And Hinata is coughing out blood and everything. Is like, and she had to go to the hospital. And Naruto still makes the blood oath with Hinata's blood on his hands, because he did hold Hinata in his arms to give her to the medical ninjas. And he's like, "In the Chunin exams, I'm pretty sure I'm going to verse you. I'm telling you, I will destroy you." And Neji seemed to be knocked out, but he could still hear, and he wasn't fully knocked out. So he said, "Naruto Uzumaki, you just caught me off guard, you failure." And Naruto's like, yeah, sure, definitely, I caught off a Hyuga off guard, right? You have the Byakugan 360 vision, and I caught you off guard, luckily, right? Yeah, keep dreaming. And Naruto leaves the Chunin exams, because he wants to go see Hinata, how she's doing, because Hinata gave him the answers, and this Naruto cares about Hinata a bit more. And he's like, "Kakashi Sensei, can you tell me what happens in the Chunin exams?" And Kakashi's like, "Alright." So then the fights were pretty much the same. And also Naruto is told about the 1 month training, and he goes off to train. He asks Haku to train him and Zabuza, but they declined because they said they need to guard the village, and they said, "We would train you, but right now it's impossible." And Naruto understands that they're doing this for the good of the village, and they need people's trust, so they're not outcasts. And he does still meet what's his name, Jiraiya, and Jiraiya's like, "I will train you if you're able to find me by the end of the day." And Naruto does find him before the end of the day because of his Adolla burst. He goes through the village, and he finds him in the same place like around an hour later. And Jiraiya's like, "Wow, you actually found me." And Jiraiya does know about Naruto's Adolla burst, his Kekkei, because the third Hokage has told him about this. And Naruto's blue flames are pretty cool to him. He's like, "Wow, your flames are really cool." And Naruto's like, "Thank you." So Naruto's training is the same in this wife as well. So we can skip this bit and we go into the finals of the Chunin exams. This time Naruto's a bit more ruthless with Neji. Neji does his 360 palm rotation, but Naruto does the same thing Shinra did in the original. In my first wife, I did put a video where Shinra kicked away that arrow. And Naruto did the same thing and broke through the perfect 360 defense and kicked Neji so hard Neji fainted. Neji got knocked out before he could even hit the stadium wall. As soon as he hit it, Naruto was declared the winner, and Neji needed medical healing, and he needed medical ninjas to heal him. And Naruto's like, Neji did wake up and said, "But how?" Briefly, and Naruto's like, "I told you, destiny doesn't decide someone's fate." And everyone was a few people were cheering Naruto on, and they're like, maybe this kid's something, even though he contains the 9 tails. And Naruto's really happy about this win. Hinata's happy for him, and the next few fights will go the same until Kakashi and Sasuke appear out of nowhere. And Naruto says, Sasuke, sorry guys, I yawned. So Sasuke is really a lot stronger here. He knows how to add fire release to his Chidori. So basically, it's not like actually adding. It's not like his flame control Chidori against Naruto in the final valley in the last fight. He actually does a little fireball and then just engulfs. He puts his hand through it with lightning, and the fire engulfs the lightning, and the lightning becomes red. And he says, "Scorching." No wait. Wait 1 second. He says burning lightning, and does go through Gaara's sand defense, and Gaara's bleeding, and he does still go on a rampage, and the fight begins. And this time Naruto is woken up by Sakura and Kakashi, and they are dispatched with what's his name? Oh yeah, Shikamaru. Oh, sorry guys, I'm really tired. I haven't been getting much sleep today. I was just watching Boku no Hero till 7 a.m. and I fell asleep then. So this Naruto leaves everyone back, and well, he takes Sakura as soon as Shikamaru's like, I got this, and then they do see Kankuro, and Kankuro is like, you're not going through, and then Shino appears and says, I got this, and that Shino, you are awake, and Shino's like, I'll explain later, there's no time for explaining, go. And Naruto does so basically Naruto just grabs onto Sakura's hand and then just says, hold on tight, and Sakura's like, what do you mean? And then Naruto uses his fire to rush to Gaara, and Haku and Zabuza are helping out against this attack, and they are doing a lot better. So Naruto arrives to see that Sasuke is in his curse marked state, and he's kind of beating up Sasuke. Sasuke is beating up Sasuke. Sasuke is beating up Gaara until he goes into his one-tail transformation and pummels him. And then Sakura jumps in to save Sasuke, save in quotation marks, just gets in the way, and she is trapped by Gaara, and Naruto has a dilemma. Either he saves Sakura and lets Sasuke get crushed, or saves Sasuke and lets Gaara crush Sakura. He's like, I don't want to give up both. So what he does is he uses his light speed. He did improve in his light speed in the month by just saying he doesn't use 3/4 of his chakra. He only uses like a quarter now, but he can only use it 4 times in at least 3 times in a fight, so he can keep at least a quarter of his chakra to keep fighting if it doesn't work. So he uses it twice. First to kick Gaara and to let him go of Sakura, and then he basically he knees Gaara's he appears underneath Gaara's chin and then kicks Gaara so hard Gaara goes flying, and he takes Sasuke and he runs away. He doesn't really run away, he just puts them far away and then goes back and summons Gamabunta because he sees the one tail on his that I'm never going to be able to beat that with just my secret technique. And he summons Gamabunta. That's pretty much all his chakra gone. He has a bit left, just enough to do the transformation to beat Gaara, and then they do still headbutt, and Gaara's like and Naruto still gives the Taku no Jutsu once they're on the floor, and Gaara understands that Naruto isn't that bad, and they do become friends. So now we head to now we quickly go to the fight. We will go over the fight against the third Hokage. So the third Hokage is fighting the first and second Hokage, and he's actually doing pretty well until Orochimaru joins in with the sword, and then the third Hokage does still have to do the Reaper Death Seal, and he sealed away the first and second Hokage, and then he seals away Orochimaru's arms. So and he does die from that, and that's pretty much it for the Leaf Invasion. The Sandfall do take away them, and everyone's pretty much injured. Even Kakashi's kind of injured because he had to fight off those ninjas, and Zabuza and Haku aren't that injured because they are really good at killing ninjas because they've been killing for a while. And Zabuza's swinging his sword at enemy ninjas, killing them, and then the Leaf Invasion does stop, and because of Jiraiya arriving with his toad. He summons a different toad this time. Let's say he summons the toad that has 2 swords, and he intimidates all the sand shinobi, and they all gave up because they know that without the Kazekage they will never be able to be a legendary Sanin by themselves, or without Gaara using his one-tailed. And they did see Gaara failing because they saw the one-tail at the outskirts of the Leaf Village and then it disappeared. because a massive frog appeared and then he transformed, and they couldn't see the fight afterwards because they were too busy fighting themselves. So that's pretty much it for this part. I know it was only 20 minutes, but I hope you all enjoyed. I'm uploading 3 what ifs today. Sorry if it's shorter, but tomorrow I'm going to upload 2 what ifs, and they're going to be pretty long because when in school days, so Monday to Fridays, I make 2 what ifs, maybe 3 if I have the time for it, and because I don't have much time except for the weekends when I can make more what ifs. But right now I'm busy watching some anime because I want to make Boku no what ifs, and I have a really good ideas, like what if Naruto had, what if Deku had what if Deku had developed a quirk like One for All, just that when he takes a quirk, he doesn't. When he takes a quirk away from someone, he doesn't literally take the quirk. So it's like One for All, just that he can copy quirks forever, but you know how One for All takes it away from the actual user, and the user has to retire. This time, not Deku's one doesn't do that, and he keeps the quirk on to the original person, but he can use it as well. It's like a copy quirk, but usually the only copy quirk guy that actually uses can use only one of them for 5 minutes, and Naruto can use it forever. So I want to make that what if, and I hope you all enjoyed this one. I'm sorry if it's only 20 minutes or 21 minutes long. I have been talking a lot, and I want to finish Boku no Hero Academia Season 4. I'm only on episode 9. I hope you all enjoyed. Please take care, stay safe, and peace. Please, and also, before I stop, please go subscribe. Get me to 400 subscribers. You could get me to 450 for a Q&A, or you could get my friends to 200 subscribers, Miniman and Retreat. Miniman gives me his gameplay. Retreat made me the thumbnail for makes me the thumbnails for the Adolla burst what if, and also he made my Discord server. You can, and another way to get the Q&A video, you can go on my Discord server, get me to get the Discord server to 100 members, or you can get me to 50 followers on Twitter. I'm going to be tweeting out information about updating the channel and everything, and I hope you all enjoyed. Please take care, stay safe, and peace.